It's the 45th week of 2021. Let's get the latest Star Trek production news.
This is the news from Trek Zone.
Don't forget Trek Zone membership available via the join button under each video on YouTube or via the trek.zone/support. Plus Trek Zone's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and your favourite podcast feed. Find us, like, follow and subscribe. Discovery's fourth season launches in just 4 days, with many of the cast doing interview rounds at New York Comic Con over the weekend. Mary Wiseman and David Ayala sat down with Trek Movie and spoke about their characters' developments in the forthcoming season. Wiseman on Tilly: I think that she's one of the go-to people when there's hard science stuff to crack. It's her, Adria, Stamets and Reno who are the really hard science people. Well, Reno's really more engineering, so I think Tilly definitely goes to employ those skills. Ayala on Book and Burnham's relationship now that she's a captain. In his words, I think it's made Cleveland Booker even more attracted to Michael Burnham because I think he looks at her and goes, "Oh, scrumptious, that's a crumpet I want to butter." His words, as I said, absolutely incredible. The camaraderie in this crew, in this cast, is fantastic. Got to meet them, many of them, at STLV back in 2019, and it was an absolute thrill. The genuine sense of camaraderie that all of the Star Trek crews seem to share is just incredible. Star Trek Discovery, its fourth season on Paramount Plus in the United States and Netflix for the rest of the world later this week. A Paramount theme park announced 2 years ago for Kunming, China, has received a huge boost this week, with Chinese authorities announcing the project is moving forward with $8 billion in funding for a large development that will include a 643-acre Paramount resort, according to reports in Variety. The proposed Paramount Park, Kunming, will include 6 themed areas, including a Final Frontier, themed around Star Trek, with a number of different attractions. Other areas including Paramount Boulevard, Adventure City, Wonderland, a Peanuts area, and a Dinotopia area. Construction has yet to start on the project, but there is a targeted opening date of June 2024. Well, with not a lot of surprise from me, Paramount has shifted their release calendar around again, including a move for the 2023 Star Trek feature film. Transformers Rise of the Beasts moves from June 24 next year to June 9, 2023. That's the date Star Trek was planning to be released, so that'll be moved to the US winter 3 days before Christmas. It all seems to be connected with a swag of other 2021 to 22 changes as the studio looks for post-pandemic crowds to flock to cinemas. In a new interview with Deadline, Chief Content Officer for Scripted Originals at Paramount Plus, David Nevins, brought up Star Trek when asked about his upcoming programming strategy for the streaming service, saying, "You're going to see quite a lot of stuff rolling out over the next 3 or 4 months. We're finally coming out of our COVID hangover, and you're seeing the first of Taylor Sheridan's stuff. You're seeing the expansion of Star Trek and adult animation." When asked directly about Strange New Worlds, Nevins said Strange New Worlds is a return to Star Trek as adventure. Just sort of space exploration. It has a lot of the values in the original Star Trek, and I think it's going to be really fun. Each new Star Trek has taken it to another level and has a different tone, but in a way that's been, I think, really satisfying. He also confirmed a next spring release, putting it somewhere between March to May. Well, here at Trek Zone, I've been focusing on finishing the year strong while continuing to deliver on my promise of 350 episodes this year. I will achieve this huge milestone on Christmas Eve, with a look back at the huge year that was. And despite some criticism over our ratings, the channel has grown by 322% in new subscribers and 238% in watch time year on year, which is an incredible achievement for just me doing this as a hobby. And yes, while some folks give generously to receive first play access to the content, I'm aiming to give more value to those supporters next year as I work towards shaping the channel into the next season. Details to come. Now, since I last produced the news, some interviews of note include my chat with Larry Nemeczek about Prodigy's premiere, Thomas Crow beaming in for 2 eps of Talkin' Science as Dr. Brad got swamped by work. We learned about a new fan film centred on Captain Garth, and got in depth with some of the latest news from Curtin Uni, with Badar 1 making first contact with ground control. Coming up soon is my chat with Chris Bosshausen, who flew with William Shatner on Blue Origin. We'll learn about some dark matter research with Professor Simon Driver and wrap up the playthrough of Elite Force. Those interviews are available right now for members, with Elite Force coming in the next day or two. So get subscribed and get first play access. Because Trek Zone membership costs less than a cup of coffee a month, it's available via the join button below on YouTube. For our podcast listeners, jump onto the trek.zone/support. And growing me, keep this channel, supporting me, grow this channel, get you first play access and behind the scenes goss, as I mentioned. Do it today. Have my eternal gratitude. I am Matt Bella for Trek Zone. I'll see you in the comments.